The quantum communicator aboard the ESS Prometheus crackled to life, breaking 3 years of deep space silence. Captain Sarah Chen stood from her command chair, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that materialized before her. The signal's origin was impossible. It came from a region of space that humanity's most advanced telescopes had shown to be empty. Analysis. Chen's voice carried the weight of command, tempered by years of exploration in humanity's furthest reaches. Dr. Marcus Wong, the ship's xenolinguist, worked his console with practiced efficiency. "It's definitely artificial, Captain. The pattern suggests a language structure unlike anything in our databases, but it's clearly a distress call." The Prometheus had been mapping the edges of known space when they detected the signal. Humanity had spread across dozens of solar systems, but had yet to encounter intelligent alien life. This could be the moment that changed everything. "Security status?" Chen asked, turning to her tactical officer. Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel's fingers danced across his console. "All systems at ready, Captain. But if this is first contact, protocol suggests a peaceful approach." Chen nodded, though something about the situation made her skin prickle. 20 years in deep space had taught her to trust those instincts. Maintain battle readiness, but keep it subtle. Let's not frighten our potential new friends. The Prometheus adjusted course, its quantum drives humming as they approached the signal source. As they drew closer, sensors detected a massive structure, a space station that seemed to phase in and out of normal spacetime. "That's impossible," Dr. Wong whispered, staring at his readings. "The energy signatures suggest technology centuries beyond our current capabilities." The station's surface rippled like liquid metal, and a hangar bay materialized, clearly an invitation. Chen ordered a small team to prepare for contact, while the Prometheus maintained a safe distance. First contact protocols had been drilled into every crew member since Academy days. Yet as Chen led her team aboard their shuttle, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The station's hangar bay swallowed them whole, its walls shifting and reforming behind them like quicksilver. They were greeted by tall, ethereal beings with translucent skin that pulsed with internal light. The aliens communicated through a device that translated their thoughts into human speech, explaining they were the Luminary, an ancient race that had watched humanity's development from afar. "We have called you here," their leader expressed, "because we face a crisis that only humanity's unique abilities can solve." But as Chen listened to their story, inconsistencies began to mount. The universal translator caught fragments of other communications, whispered conversations in languages that shouldn't exist in this part of space. Then she saw it, a slight shimmer in the air, the kind produced by cloaking technology. Not the Luminary's advanced tech, but something far more familiar, something human. The revelation hit her just as the trap was sprung. The Luminary weren't alone. Behind their ethereal facades lurked a coalition of species that had been studying humanity for centuries. They saw Earth's children as a threat, a species that evolved too quickly, adapted too readily, and thought in ways that defied prediction. "You should never have come this far." The Luminary leader's voice shifted, becoming cold and mechanical. "Your species' potential for growth is too dangerous to ignore." The hangar erupted into chaos. Shen's team fought their way back to the shuttle under heavy fire, their training kicking in despite the overwhelming odds. The Prometheus's quantum cannons blazed to life, creating a corridor of covering fire through space. As they escaped, Chen realized this wasn't just an attack. It was the beginning of a war. Humanity had been judged and found too dangerous to be allowed to exist. But their would-be executioners had made a crucial mistake. They had shown their hand too soon. Back aboard the Prometheus, as they prepared to jump to quantum space, Chen sent a final message to Earth. "First contact protocols have failed. We are at war with an alliance of species that fears what we might become, but they've underestimated what we already are." The Prometheus vanished into quantum space, carrying with it humanity's first warning of the storm to come. In the darkness between stars, an ancient coalition of species had finally revealed themselves, united in their fear of humanity's potential. They thought they were springing a trap. They didn't realize they had just awakened a sleeping giant. The warning came too late for New Eden Colony. Located on the outer rim of human space, the settlement of 50,000 souls went dark without a single distress call. By the time the ESS Prometheus reached Earth with its warning, 3 more colonies had fallen silent. Admiral James Martinez stood before the United Earth Council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display of human territory. Red dots marked each silent colony, forming a pattern that even a first-year tactical cadet could recognize. Humanity was being systematically isolated. "They're cutting us off," Martinez explained, his voice grave. "Each silent colony represents a strategic choke point in our quantum communication network. Within months, Earth could be completely isolated from its outer colonies." The council chamber erupted into chaos, but Martinez's attention was drawn to a figure sitting quietly in the corner. Dr. Isabella Santos, head of the Quantum Defense Initiative, was already scribbling equations on her neural tablet. "We need to think differently," she announced, standing. "These beings, they expect us to react like them, to follow conventional strategic doctrine. But humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to innovate under pressure." In the weeks that followed, humanity's response defied all alien predictions. Instead of reinforcing their remaining colonies with conventional defenses, Earth initiated Project Ghost Echo. Dr. Santos had discovered that human brainwave patterns could be used to create quantum entanglement fields that alien sensors couldn't detect. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, a new kind of command center took shape. The Hive, they called it, where thousands of human minds could link together through Santos's quantum interface. Each connected consciousness expanded the network's reach, creating a hidden communication system that spanned human space. The aliens' first hint that their plan had failed came 3 months after New Eden went dark. A massive fleet of their ships, cloaked and waiting to ambush Earth's relief force, found themselves surrounded by vessels that seemed to materialize from nowhere. Human ships, operating on principles of physics that the alien coalition had deemed impossible. Lieutenant Sarah Chen, now promoted to commander, led the counterattack. Her experiences aboard the alien station had provided crucial insights into their technologies and limitations. The Prometheus, retrofitted with Dr. Santos' quantum systems, struck like a ghost in the night. "They thought they could isolate us," Chen transmitted to the fleet. "They didn't realize that humanity thrives in isolation." Every colony they cut off became a crucible of innovation, each developing unique solutions that our enemies couldn't predict. The battle that followed would later be known as the Echo Insurgency. Human ships, linked through the quantum consciousness network, moved with impossible coordination. Each vessel seemed to know exactly where the others would be, executing maneuvers that looked like chaos, but formed patterns of deadly precision. The alien coalition's perfectly planned ambush dissolved into confusion. Their advanced technology, refined over centuries, proved useless against humans fighting in ways that defied conventional physics. Ships crewed by beings who had never needed to adapt found themselves outmaneuvered by humans who had spent their entire evolutionary history adapting to new challenges. But victory came with a disturbing revelation. As the alien fleet retreated, quantum sensors detected massive energy signatures throughout human space, weapons of unimaginable power waiting to be triggered. The silent colonies hadn't just been isolated. They were being held hostage. In the Hive, Dr. Santos' consciousness merged with thousands of others, searching for a solution. Through the quantum network, she could feel the determination of every linked mind. Humanity had surprised their enemies once, but now they faced a choice. Stand down and accept extinction, or find a way to save their people that even they hadn't thought possible. Commander Chen's voice echoed through the quantum network. "They think they know what humanity is capable of. They've studied our history, our technology, our tactics, but they've never understood our greatest weapon, our ability to become more than we are when faced with impossible odds. As the alien coalition's ultimatum arrived on Earth, humanity prepared its response. In labs and bunkers across human space, a plan took shape that would either save their species or end it. The silent war was about to become very, very loud. Dr. Isabella Santos stood in the heart of the hive, surrounded by swirling quantum data streams. Through the neural network, she could feel the consciousness of thousands of linked humans, each mind adding its unique perspective to humanity's collective intelligence. It's not just communication, she explained to Admiral Martinez, her hands dancing through holographic equations. The quantum entanglement field we created, it's affecting human consciousness itself. We're evolving. The discovery had come during a routine analysis of the hive's quantum networks. The human minds linked through the system weren't just sharing information. They were developing abilities that defied conventional science. Abilities that the alien coalition, for all their advanced technology, couldn't replicate or understand. Commander Chen, leading a stealth mission near one of the silent colonies, was the first to demonstrate these new capabilities. During a close encounter with an alien patrol, her neural link to the hive had somehow allowed her to perceive multiple potential futures simultaneously. She had navigated her ship through an impossible maze of enemy fire, making decisions based on outcomes that hadn't yet happened. It's like we've unlocked a part of human consciousness that was always there, waiting. Chen reported through the quantum network. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. The alien coalition had based their strategy on thousands of years of observation, studying humanity's technology and warfare capabilities. But they had never accounted for this, a species capable of rapid psychological and neurological adaptation, whose very consciousness could evolve in response to existential threats. In the occupied colonies, something extraordinary began to happen. The quantum network, powered by human minds, started to penetrate the alien blockade. Colonists, even without direct neural links, reported experiencing shared dreams, premonitions, and an inexplicable ability to sense the aliens' movements. Dr. Santos worked tirelessly to understand and enhance these emerging abilities. Our consciousness exists partially in quantum space, she explained to the United Earth Council. The aliens' technology is advanced, but it's fundamentally mechanical. They can't comprehend, let alone counter, what we're becoming. The breakthrough came during the Battle of Proxima Centauri. A massive alien fleet, attempting to neutralize the quantum network's hub in that system, found itself facing a human defense force that seemed to move with impossible precognition. Human ships, their crews linked through the enhanced quantum network, operated as a single organism, their movements guided by a collective consciousness that could process countless tactical possibilities in microseconds. They're trying to process what they're seeing, Chen transmitted from the bridge of the Prometheus. Their sensors show them one reality, but their weapons hit nothing. We're fighting in quantum space as much as physical space. The alien coalition's perfect formation shattered against an enemy they couldn't predict or understand. Their ships, designed to counter any known form of warfare, found themselves outmaneuvered by humans operating on an entirely different plane of existence. But victory came with a chilling discovery. Deep in quantum space, Dr. Santos detected evidence that the alien coalition was attempting to replicate humanity's quantum consciousness technology. Their experiments, crude and desperate, threatened to tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. They're afraid, Admiral Martinez observed, watching the quantum data streams in the hive, not just of what we are, but of what we're becoming. They see a species that can evolve its very consciousness in response to threats, and it terrifies them. Through the quantum network, humanity could feel the alien coalition's fear growing. Their perfectly ordered universe was being undermined by a species that refused to follow the rules of evolution and physics as they understood them. In their desperation to contain the human threat, they were willing to risk the stability of space-time itself. As reports of the aliens' dangerous experiments reached Earth, humanity faced a new challenge. They had discovered their hidden strength, But now they needed to find a way to end the war before the alien coalition's fear destroyed everything. The next phase would require more than just military victory. It would demand a solution that even humanity's evolving consciousness hadn't yet imagined. In the quantum streams of the hive, Dr. Santos watched as a new pattern emerged. The alien coalition's desperate attempts to replicate human consciousness technology had created ripples in space-time, tears in reality that shouldn't exist. But within these distortions, she found something unexpected, fragments of memories that weren't human. They're not just afraid of what we might become, she transmitted through the quantum network. They're afraid of what they used to be. Commander Chen, leading a stealth mission deep in coalition space, had discovered ancient ruins that told a similar story. The luminary, who had orchestrated humanity's ambush, were not the original masters of their advanced technology. They were its inheritors, and they carried the weight of a terrible legacy. The quantum consciousness network had evolved beyond its creators' expectations. Human minds, linked across vast distances, began to perceive patterns in the coalition's behavior that individual observers had missed. Every attack, every strategy was driven by a deep-seated terror of something they called the awakening. Admiral Martinez stood before the United Earth Council, presenting the intelligence gathered from countless quantum observations. The coalition species deliberately engineered themselves to be stable, predictable, and incapable of rapid evolution. They chose stagnation over the risk of becoming something they couldn't control. The revelation changed everything. Humanity's quantum evolution wasn't just a new development. It was an echo of a path the coalition species had once faced and rejected. Their fear wasn't just of humanity's potential. It was the fear of seeing their own abandoned destiny manifested in another species. Chen's voice crackled through the quantum network from deep behind enemy lines. Their defenses are oriented outward, but their greatest weakness is within. They're so afraid of change that they've forgotten how to adapt. Humanity's response was characteristically unconventional. Instead of pressing their military advantage, they began a campaign of psychological warfare that the coalition had no defense against. Human ships would appear simultaneously in dozens of systems, their quantum-linked crews projecting visions of possible futures directly into the minds of coalition species. The coalition's perfect unity began to crack. Some of their younger members, exposed to humanity's quantum broadcasts, started to question their society's rejection of evolution. The luminary leadership's grip on power weakened as more of their people began to experience dreams of what they could have become. Dr. Santos made another breakthrough in the hive. Their technology, their entire civilization, is built on suppressing consciousness evolution. But they can't suppress it forever. The quantum ripples we're creating are awakening something in them that's been dormant for millennia. The coalition's response was dramatic and desperate. Entire systems were quarantined, cut off from all contact in an attempt to prevent the spread of what they called the human consciousness plague. But it was too late. The quantum network had already taken root in the collective unconscious of their civilization. They thought they could contain us like a virus, Admiral Martinez observed, watching the coalition's elaborate quarantine systems fail one by one. Instead, we've become the key that unlocks everything they feared in themselves. Through the quantum network, humanity could feel the change spreading through coalition space. It wasn't just fear anymore. It was a growing sense of possibility, of potential long denied. The very qualities that the coalition had tried to engineer out of their species were reawakening, triggered by contact with humanity's evolving consciousness. But as the coalition's carefully constructed society began to unravel, a new threat emerged. The luminary leadership, facing the collapse of everything they had built, activated ancient weapon systems that had been sealed away for millions of years. They would rather destroy themselves than face the uncertainty of evolution. Commander Chen's quantum-enhanced consciousness detected the weapons powering up. "They're not just targeting us anymore," she reported. "They're trying to cauterize what they see as an infection in the fabric of space-time itself." Humanity faced an impossible choice: withdraw and allow the coalition to destroy itself, or find a way to save beings who saw their very existence as an existential threat. The final confrontation would not be fought with ships and weapons, but with the very nature of consciousness itself. The ancient weapons of the luminary pulsed with impossible energy, their power threatening to tear reality apart. In the hive, Dr. Santos watched as quantum calculations predicted the collapse of entire sectors of space. But through the neural network, she sensed something else, a resonance in the quantum field that felt almost like a cry for help. They're not just weapons, she transmitted to the unified human consciousness. They're containment systems, designed to suppress the natural evolution of consciousness itself. The coalition species didn't just choose to stop evolving. They were imprisoned in their own fear. Commander Chen, aboard the Prometheus, led a fleet deeper into coalition space than any human ships had ventured before. Through their enhanced consciousness, the crew could perceive layers of reality that the coalition had sealed away eons ago. The truth was written in the quantum fabric of space itself. The luminary weren't the builders of their advanced technology. They were its prisoners. The weapons aren't targeting us, Chen reported, her consciousness linked with thousands of others through the quantum network. They're responding to the breakdown of the containment system. We didn't just show them what they could become. We accidentally started breaking their chains. In the heart of coalition space, the luminary leadership had retreated to their ancient citadels, activating systems they barely understood in a desperate attempt to maintain control. But their actions were having an unexpected effect. The quantum consciousness that humanity had awakened was spreading through their population, like a wildfire of possibility. Admiral Martinez coordinated humanity's response from the hive, where Dr. Santos had made one final crucial discovery. The coalition species aren't different from us, she announced through the network. They're what we would have become if we had chosen fear over growth. The same choice is before us now. The quantum network hummed with the combined consciousness of humanity as they faced their decision. They could retreat, allow the coalition to re-establish their containment systems, and maintain the safe, predictable universe they had created. Or they could risk everything to free beings who had spent millions of years hiding from their own potential. The choice, when it came, was characteristically human. Instead of attacking or withdrawing, humanity did something the coalition had never predicted. They opened their minds completely, sharing through the quantum network not just their knowledge, but their entire experience of existence. The fear, the uncertainty, the joy of discovery, the pain of failure, and the triumph of overcoming. Everything that made them human. The effect was immediate and irreversible. Throughout coalition space, the quantum resonance of human consciousness catalyzed something that had been suppressed for millions of years. The containment systems, designed to prevent the evolution of consciousness, began to fail not because they were attacked, but because they were no longer needed. Then, something extraordinary happened. The coalition species, their consciousness finally free to evolve, began to transform in ways that even humanity's quantum-enhanced perceptions could barely comprehend. One by one, their ships, their stations, and their citadels vanished, not destroyed, but transcended into a level of existence beyond physical space. They're not disappearing, Dr. Santos realized, watching through the quantum network. They're awakening to what they always were. We didn't defeat them. We reminded them of who they used to be. In the aftermath, humanity found itself alone in a transformed galaxy. The coalition's mighty empire had not been destroyed, but had evolved beyond the physical realm. They left behind their cities, their technologies, and a message encoded in quantum fluctuations that only evolved consciousness could perceive. You showed us that what we feared most was not destruction, but transformation. We chose stagnation over growth, certainty over possibility. You taught us that true survival lies not in resisting change, but in embracing it. The universe is larger than we imagined, and consciousness deeper than we knew. We go now to explore it, not as your enemies, but as pioneers on a path you helped us remember. Perhaps one day, When humanity is ready, you will join us there." Commander Chen stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching the quantum echoes of the Coalition's transformation fade into the fabric of space-time. Through the neural network, she could feel humanity's collective wonder at what they had witnessed and what it meant for their own future. They thought they were containing a threat, she transmitted to Earth. Instead, they were preserving the key to their own evolution until someone came along who could remind them how to use it. In the hive, Dr. Santos was already studying the quantum patterns left behind by the Coalition's transformation. Humanity had not just survived their first contact with advanced alien life. They had catalyzed an evolutionary leap that would echo through the cosmos. The real question now was not whether humanity would follow the Coalition into that higher realm of existence, but when, and what they would become when they did.